Today is International Holocaust Remembrance Day, a dark reminder of how a third of all Jewish people perished from the Holocaust in the Second World War at the hand of Nazi Germany. Roger Collins joins us now to look at how the world is remembering this tragic event. Roger?
Manisa, it was on January 27, 1945, 80 years ago today, that the Red Army marched into Auschwitz and liberated thousands of prisoners from the largest death camp in Europe.
What I felt when I came back, I just said to myself, I really need to tell. People need to know. They won't believe because I myself cannot believe that that happened.
January 27th, 1945 was the day that Auschwitz-Birkenau was liberated. And today, to memorialize the 6 million Jews who perished throughout the Holocaust, moments of reverence and respect from global leaders around the world. But in Poland, on the steps of Auschwitz, the site where over 1 million people had their lives taken away, a ceremony held with the few remaining survivors.
We were victims in a moral vacuum.
Speaking to not just the need to remember, but of a need to warn.
Że w wielu krajach Europy, także i w naszym kraju, bezkarnie maszerują osoby w uniformach zbliżonych do nazistowskich.
And as the world reflects on the events of the past, similar painful themes play out on the world stage today.
I'm begging you, on this holy day, in the names of my grandparents, who are Holocaust survivors like your own parents and grandparents, please, the never again has happened again in Israel land. But the difference is that now we can change. Now we have the power to do what's right.
The anguish of war front and center from the family of the Israelis who remain in Hamas captivity. But their pain is mirrored across the border, where the people of Gaza face their own harrowing struggles. Or in Ukraine, where this 103-year-old Holocaust survivor says she's tired after having to flee the Nazis in World War II and the Russians today.
Я люблю свою Украину, она моя. Моя Украина. Я хочу, чтобы уже был конец войны, и чтобы я увидела эту Украину хотя бы с разрухами.
And in the U.S., an analogous situation is beginning to reverberate throughout the country as President Trump's mass deportations begin.
If you're in the country illegally, you're on the table, because it's not okay to, violate laws of this country. You got to remember, every time you enter this country illegally, you violated a crime under Title 8, United States Code 1325. It's a crime.
The separation of immigrant families, leaving many with a deep sense of loss and helplessness, stories which are disturbingly similar. And speaking to America's new administration, and the moment after Elon Musk gave this awful gesture at Donald Trump's inauguration ceremony, Senator Lindsey Graham had this to say.
I'm worried that we're losing 80 years on, that we're rewriting history here. The Holocaust was one of the darkest moments in the history of mankind. There are 15 million Jews on the planet because every generation seems to want to go after the Jewish people so they can't grow and survive. So the last thing I want, facing the 80th anniversary of the Auschwitz liberation, the death camp, is to be equivocal.
On Holocaust Memorial Day, the survivors remind us of the past and why we must never forget. Their stories urge us to reflect on the suffering of others today. And the lesson is clear: humanity must always come first.